Hello YouTubers, motor wheel enthusiasts and so on. Another one of my series of restoring steam locomotives, models, Duchess of Atholl. And this is the way I got it from eBay. And the long story behind that, I was actually bidding for it. I went to a certain amount, I thought, no, this is going to go. And I outbid by one bid. It turned out to be my lovely wife. She outbid me by one bid. Anyway, it presented to me as a present, because she knew I liked it. Anyway, so here it is. And this is the way that I got it. Came like this. No corn rods. Die cast body. I think 1952, let's get the numbers fairly clearly written, 6231. Wee bit of decal might help clean up the body's metal body. Got the big oval buffers at the top, the hook, front steps. I don't know if you make it out. Hornby-Dublo, made in England. And in the roof, and the cab roof, it tells me it is an EDL2. A lovely looking machine. But for those of us used to the XL4 motor and what have you, this came as a bit of a surprise to me. It's a vertical cylinder model. It's got the ponies here, which I've removed just for clarity. It had a number of cylinder heads, which I've got in another box somewhere. But my main idea is how do I get the corn rods and so on. Okay, but I thought the first thing I'll do is I'll check and see if I can get any power to it. So what I'm going to do is I've got my little power supply here at the side, and I'm going to connect one in there, because that looks like the brushes. And the other end here looks like the power feed, so I'll connect it in there next to the suppressor. I'm going to apply power. And I wonder how long it's been since that turned. Seems a bit rattly. But it's certainly working alright. Certainly working. It's not a lot of power in it. Let's wind up in there. Not too bad. Let's try it in reverse. It's certainly working. You think that's what worthwhile doing, guys? Right. At least we know we get power, so the motor's alright. Okay, so I've got to make a couple of decisions. I need to try and get the corn rods. I checked up on the internet and what have you, and there is a 3-rail version. I don't know if this is modified or what. I don't know anything about these. This is a totally new kind of model to me. So what I'm going to do is have a wee break, and I'll get back to you with the next installment of my Duchess of Atholl. Hello YouTubers, welcome to part 3 of my video diary, where I'm trying to restore this wonderful little Duchess of Atholl. The head of the video, you probably know that I got it from eBay, outbid by my lovely wife, who got it for me. And then I got a couple other bits, and this is in fact the second chassis I got, complete with corn rods and valve gear. And I stripped the motor out of the other one, and I'm going to put it in here. You may remember that I had a bit of trouble because I discovered that my original Duchess of Atholl was a coarse thread armature. So I had to try and find a fine thread armature, M-trains, John M. Trains, thanks a lot. He deals a lot of these spares, so I sent off to him and I got this. It's a fine thread armature, because there's more turns here, and the gear wheel behind the driving wheels has also got more teeth, so this is the proper one. I also discovered from discussing with it that what I thought was a 2-rail Duchess was actually a modified 3-rail, so he very kindly persuaded me, not with a lot of persuasion I should say, to buy a 3-rail pickup set complete with shoes and all the bits and pieces. So it'll be interesting to turn it into 3-rail. Also means we're going to have to buy some 3-rail track to get it tested with. So what I'm going to do is now to reassemble the motor assembly so I can get it running. Right, I've got all the bits and pieces here. These are all the bits for the motor assembly. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slip this little nut on top of the armature, guide the armature into the bearing which is at the base of the armature shaft between the driving wheels. That's quite tricky, but it should go in about there. It's a brass bearing at the bottom of the shaft. And I had to put a nut in first, otherwise there's no room to put it in afterwards. And that should just slide in. It usually does in practice. During the rehearsal it went perfectly, as always. In it goes. There we go, line up there. Then there's a boss screw that goes in the top, and this acts as the upper bearing. And the nut that I put on is a lock nut, but once the bearing's in place, the armature spins really freely, then this nut goes onto the boss screw and will hold it in place. I don't know if there's some kind of altered position. There probably is. There it is, and it's driving the mechanism, so that I can lock that off later on. The next part I'm going to do is fit the pole pieces. They are held on by a bolt with a fixed nut at one end. These two horseshoe pieces fit round the armature. One there. The magnet goes in there. I'll probably have to experiment with the magnet to get it running in the same direction that it should be. I never took a note. Bad mistake. Always take a note of which way the magnet comes off. And then that clips in there. The bolt joins everything together, held in with the nut. There we go. So far so good. Tighten that up. And that should do it. Now we've got to fit the brushes, springs, and I think they're called plugs. Okay, and if this works, I'll be ordering a new set of brushes from John, because I think I'd like to get this working in good condition. Spring in there, and then the plug, which pushes down, keeps the spring in place. Okay, so that's one end of it in there. Now to do the same on the other side. Brush, spring, and then also plug in there. Okay, now at this stage it should be possible to get it running. Set it up there and there, and the cable fell down the back, but that's okay. Put one contact on one of the brushes, the other contact I'm going to connect to, oops, to here. I think I might have to tighten that a wee bit. Make sure that's out of the road. And now let's see what happens if I apply power. There's a lot happening. So let's take the pressure off. Yeah, she's trying to turn. She's trying to turn. Let's find the power view. There we go. Yes. I wonder how long it's been since that's moved. Eh? There we go, a wee beauty. Okay. I wonder how long it's been since that's moved. The healthy sparks in there, you can see there. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's a new armature. The brushes are needing replaced. Let's try and wind it down and see if it'll go in the opposite directions. The mechanism looks to be pretty free. So let's go the other way. Let's just trying. Let's just trying. There we go. That's moving forward now. So this is light in the machine yet. The mechanism looks free on both sides, going pretty well. The valve head gear looks good, the cross heads look good. I think the cylinder head might need a little bit of alignment, but I'm going to replace them in any case. Right, so now we know we've got it working. So let's just take the power off. Welcome back, YouTubers. This is a continuation of my restoration in the Duchess of Atholl. Up to this point you've seen me take the old chassis, remove the motor, get a new armature, fit it in, connect up the brushes, and the last time we checked it ran. The mechanism's going lovely. It's all there, complete, and runs really nice and smoothly. The next stage of my restoration is to fit the 3-rail pickup. My original one had been modified for a 2-rail pickup, probably quite obvious really. So I'm now going to put this on 3-rail. I got this kit here called F19, and it's from John at M-Trains, whose website is dedicated to Hornby-Dublo 3-rail and 2-rail early machines. This is what he sent me, and this is what I'm going to fit this time. Okay, there are two shoes. There's a support bracket. This is the central spring. This is the screw that holds together. Then you put on the spacer followed by an insulating plate. The screw goes through to the top, and it then fits into an earthing plate which takes the negative supply, and this here insulates the positive, and then it's all held together by a hex nut. So I'm going to stop here. I'll put it all together and I'll get back to you when it's complete. Right, what I've done is I assembled the shoes into the holder. The pin that goes through there The shoes fit into the clips, so they're eventually hinged to the spring that gives contact, then the spacer followed by this mica washer. That fits into some grooves in the underside of the chassis. The pin comes through. The earthing clip goes on top of that, and you can actually see it come out here. The other mica washer on top, and then the washer that does the pickup from the other shoes is attached here, held on by the nut. This is when you wish it held on to all those lovely tools you had when you were younger. I don't have a 2BA spanner anymore, so I just had to use pliers. And then this is a feed coming through the choke onto the positive end of the motor. I don't have any 3-rail track, and I haven't tested this yet from the pickup, so I'm going to turn it upside down, try and support it somewhere, and I'm going to apply power to one side of the wheels and the pickup. So here goes. I can just support this properly. Try in there. Power here and here. About there. So one contact on the wheels, one contact there. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We have got a runner, guys. We've got a runner. So, the wheel set is designed in such a way that the wheels pick up the negative, and the inner wheel picks up the positive. Now, okay, so my next task, apart from rebuilding it and getting bogies on, getting it repainted and what have you, will be to get some 3-rail track from eBay, put it on, apply power and watch her run. And hopefully that will be the next one.